Okay, so looking at this, number 14, once again we're going to be looking at goal 3. Now we have the goal 3 formulas that we can reference back to when we need them, but they don't fit all on one page. So we'll go step by step. When you have a graph like this, the main thing you need to do is identify all the parts before you actually begin the calculations. So I'm going to start by identifying capacities, fixed costs, and formulas. Here, 100, our x-coordinate for the ending point, this is our capacity. Now remember, the capacity is the maximum that the quantity can be. Now because this is the maximum quantity, that means that 4,200 is the maximum cost, and 5,000 is my maximum revenue. Now the other point here, 0, 1,200, this 1,200 signifies the fixed costs, or the costs that we incur before we purchase anything. Right here is the break-even point, and if you go down in a straight line, it appears that the break-even point is 60. Now we're not totally sure that's correct, so we'll double check our math in just a bit. So the first question says, find the fixed costs. Well, we found that right here at 1,200. And so we have 1,200 AED is H. Find the break-even point in units. Okay, now this is really nice because we know that our units is going to be dealing with quantity, and the maximum quantity is 100. So we immediately know that 120 won't work and 3,000 won't work. So we have a choice of 100 or 60. And as we see, 60 units is what the graph signifies. Find the break-even point in dirhams. Now if we draw a line straight across, it appears that the break-even point in dirhams is 3,000. So we're going to come over here and we see that we have a choice of 3,000 dirhams or 4,000. Well, 4,000 is all the way up here. So it appears that G is the break-even point in dirhams. Determine the capacity for the period. Okay, once again, that's found from our graph. If this is the maximum revenue and maximum cost, then 100 is our capacity, L. Find the break-even point as a percent of capacity. Now for this, we actually have to do some type of math. We need to look at the break-even point, which we found is 60, and look at the capacity and divide the two. Now because we need to make it a percent, we're going to multiply by 100. So I'm going to start by taking my fraction and doing 60 over 100 and then multiplying by 100, and we get back 60%, or A. Now the next question said, what is the maximum revenue for the period? This is where we looked at labeling earlier. Here, 5,000 was the maximum revenue we identified, so that is choice D. And then the last question says, what is the net income when 80 units are sold? So we're going to come here to 80. Now right here, this is a profit side. So we have two options, profit or loss. Now we need to look at the net income when 80 units are sold. And in order to do this, we're going to have to do total revenue and total cost. Now for total revenue, we have to look at the slope. So coming here, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we'll go ahead and start with TR. For total revenue, we're going to take our maximum revenue, 5,000, and subtract our minimum revenue, 0. And then we'll take the maximum quantity and subtract the minimum quantity. So once again, we'll put that into our calculator. 5,000 minus 0 over 100 minus 0, and we get that the selling price is 50 dirhams, which means that my total revenue equation is 50Q. Now the next one is total cost. So we're going to go ahead and do that. 4,200 minus my fixed costs, 1,200, divided by 100 minus 0. So we'll put that into the calculator. 4,200, oops, forgot to put a fraction, minus 1,200 over 100 minus 0, and I get that my unit variable cost is 30 dirhams. So my total cost equation is 30Q plus 1,200. Now to find the net income when 80 units are sold. So in order to do net income, we have to look back at a formula: selling price minus unit variable costs times the quantity minus the fixed costs. So net income. We're going to take 50 minus 30 times our quantity of 80 minus a fixed cost, and if we look back at our chart, the fixed cost was 1,200. And we're going to actually put this in the calculator exactly as we see it. So let's go ahead and do that now. Open bracket, 50 minus 30, close bracket, open, times a quantity of 80 minus 1,200 gives us a profit of 400 dirhams, our choice I.